Good day to you. Now in this video blog I want to talk about three main things. I am going to address the sports wheelchair and the mechanics required to use one of those. I'm also going to talk about some positive encounters I've had this week, and I am going to talk about the orthotic and the foot issues. There is a separate video blog for this, but no, not a video blog, a written blog. But I am also going to talk about it on here. My positive encounters this week that are worth mentioning. Attached to that, I've got some products to show you about those things. I have had three separate positive encounters this week. Two of those took place on separate occasions in the supermarket. Now, the first one, I was walking through the supermarket getting a few things on my way home. I was dressed in a dress, I was dressed like sort of similar to this, I suppose, and it's the supermarket I go to regularly. Some of the staff that have been there for a long time know me, recognise me, know me, talk to me, and some of them are just like weekend and casuals and things like that, like any supermarket, I suppose. I was walking along minding my own business and a woman stopped and she went, "Oh my goodness, I love your hair." I was quite taken aback by this because nobody usually mentions my hair, and actually I find it quite amusing that most of the population seem to spend a lot of money on dye to make their hair look like this, and actually all I had to do is stop dyeing it and they ended up looking like this. So I thought I'd just do a quick wee précis here for anybody who has got frizzy or wavy or curly hair or things like that, and they want to know how to deal with it. I used to spend a lot of time straightening my hair, and any slight bit of moisture and it would end up looking like a crazy mess. So what that ended up doing was making me tight up all the time. Now, I have gone through a lot of hair products to figure out what was best. I looked loosely to start with at the Curly Girl method, and then I took it from there. So what I'm basically going to show you is the products that I use. I have used a lot of different stuff from a lot of different places, including the cheap ones and the not so cheap ones, and this is the group that I have found work the best. Some of these I got from my hairdresser originally, and she now uses them on more people as a result of the fact that I have talked about how good these products are. That's my hairdresser. So here we go. So the first two I'm going to show you are from a standard store. I get these from Farmers if you're in New Zealand. So we've got Shea Moisture. They're both Shea Moisture. One of them is silicone-free miracle mask, and the other one is daily hydration leave-in. So this one is sort of like a cream, and I put this on at the beginning before I wash and condition my hair when I'm in the shower. So I'll put this on and leave it on for a couple of minutes and then rinse it off. This one I will put in right at the end or on the next day, because I don't wash my hair every day, maybe every 3 or 4 days. This rehydrates it and takes the frizz out, and it's really good, and it doesn't leave your hair feeling sticky. Then the next two I have, these are both from the supermarket. If I'm traveling, I'll use this one. This is Coconut Curls. This is sulfate free, quenching and coconut curls is what it's called, and there's a shampoo and a conditioner. And this one is one I use if I'm at home, because it's a big pump bottle, and this is Glow Lab, which is New Zealand made, and it is Glow Lab hydrating shampoo, and I use the conditioner that matches it as well. Then these two you can only get online or from a salon. These are the two that are my saviours, right? These two are Wella Professionals. You can get them online. I buy them online now. Relatively easy to get a hold of. And it's Wella Boost Bounce Nutri Curls, and that's what the can looks like. That's a mousse. And after I've washed and conditioned it, I will not rub it dry, leave it quite wet, and then I'll put that in, and then shape it in, put my parting in, whatever, and then this is a curl shaper. This is like a cream, and that goes in over the top, scrunch, and then after I've done all that, I will dry it with a diffuser with the head turned upside down. I don't dry it all the way dry, and it only takes me maybe a couple of minutes, and with a diffuser I get a much better volume of curl than I do without. So that's my top tips if you want naturally curly hair. I really don't spend too much on it anymore. I used to spend a lot of money keeping that grey at bay and keeping it straight. So yeah, embrace the curl, man. Embrace the curl. Another positive experience I had this week was also in the supermarket, and this time I was minding my own business, and a woman that I talked to that I know from the tills, that because I go there a lot, was on a till over there, and I was on a self-service till. She saw me come in and she said, "Hey, did you get your flipper yet?" I must have been talking to her about getting a fin and becoming a mermaid. And so I said, "Oh yeah, I've got some pictures, do you want to come see?" And she came around out of behind her till and she was having a look. "Hey lady, look at this, she's become a mermaid." Now that is the best positive disability related engagement I've had so far. Most people will talk about, "Oh, hey, what happened? How did it happen? Blah, blah, blah." She drew attention to the disability, but in a positive way. So thank you to that lady. It was actually really enjoying talking to her and showing her the pink fin that I've now got. And my third positive experience this week was at the duathlon at the weekend. Now I was sort of minding my own business, doing what I had to do, and it was the person that was with me that heard this twice at least. People saying, "Hey, look, that's that lady from Parkrun." Now that is such a good way to identify me, a much better way than, "Hey, that's that lady with one leg," or "Hey, that's that lady we saw in a wheelchair," or any of those things. "Hey, that's that lady from Parkrun." I much prefer that type of engagement that positively identifies me and doesn't make me identifiable by my missing body parts. Well, hello. I thought I would show you the racing wheelchair. So it is a sports chair rather than a racing chair, and I'll show you how it works. So I'm just going to sit in it using this dress, which is not ideal, and I'll show you. So then, we are quite tightly squashed in, and with this chair, these wheels are a lot more tilted to the sides than a normal chair. These side guards have been custom made for me, and it wouldn't normally come with side guards, which was giving me issues because I was getting losing skin off my forearms, and I was getting holes in my pants because my legs were rubbing against the wheels. So that's why I've got side guards. Now, down below, we have only got one footrest. Now, my knee replacement knee gets tucked in back there at quite an acute angle, right? Strapped into the foot plate real tight so I can't move it. This leg, I take it off because I can't get it bent, so there's no foot plate on that side. The handlebars are down here in between my knees, and it doesn't tilt very far. Let me show you. It doesn't tilt very far at all. Only that far. That's it. Okay. So I actually steer this wheelchair with the stump on my left leg. There is a brake, but it's down on the handlebars, and that's not very helpful. So I tend to use the push rims to brake. Now, in a wheelchair, you need to be down in this position here, and you need to be pushing down on the rims like so. Now, if you look at the angle my shoulder is in for that, we're going like this, right? So my shoulders are always in that back position, back here. So that puts me at a biomechanical disadvantage, because actually that's about the limit of my arm flexion, really. But that's the best way to give you some power, is by pushing down. So I tend to push down on the heel of my hands, and I don't really use my fingers. In this wheelchair, these push rims are pretty rough, sort of like abrasive. So they chew through gloves like there's nobody's business. I've actually got some temporary type gloves at the moment, and we're trying to get some hold of some proper wheelchair gloves from Europe. The reason I have got this one and not a full full-on racing wheelchair is because of my knee replacement. We weren't sure if I'd be able to get the knee bent far enough. For this one, it's a bit like a mountain bike versus a racing road bike. So I'm in a sort of partly upright position, and my knee and my foot are downwards. In a sports racing wheelchair, your feet are fully back and you're right over like this. People often put a cushion in between chest and knees, so to give you a bit of space for your lungs. It actually is really hard work working at this level in this sort of wheelchair, because you're constantly in this crunched over position. So teaching your lungs to work at VO2 max when you're in that position and you're pushing down and you're constantly squeezing your chest together actually takes a bit of practice. It's not as easy as it looks. So if you think about it, I am squashed over and I'm also at a mechanical disadvantage. So when you see those wheelchair races on TV and you think, oh my God, look how fast they're going, it must be so easy. It bloody well is not. We've got so many disadvantages over the biomechanics of having two legs, that anyone who can beat person on two legs in these wheelchairs has got some strength and some serious cardio fitness. So that is the ins and outs of a sports wheelchair. Now, the foot. Having a foot problem when you're an amputee is quite a common thing, I have discovered. But I wish I'd have known this before. Now, what I have found is when I was learning to walk, I was trying to put my left foot down on the floor like I normally would. And there's only a little bit of calf left, which doesn't have any arteries because they're all occluded. And so what this was doing, it was making my calf do a lot of work that it didn't need to do and giving me claudication pain. I still get this claudication pain. However, I have managed to get it to reduce a little bit some of the time when I concentrate on what my leg is doing. So on the left side, I try and fling my leg from the hip, sort of throw it from the hip and knee, which means I'm trying to disengage that toe part. And I don't know how much of this is psychological and how much is actual, because it's inconsistent how well this works. And what that means is that I can hear that left foot heel hit the floor, and it's quite a clunky sound when it hits the floor. So my left leg, if I was talking about 2 feet, my left foot heel strikes, because I found it easier to disengage the calf some of the time and reduce the pain some of the time. I wish I could do it all the time. Now, what I found I accidentally did at the same time was change my foot strike on the right hand side to a heel strike. Now, you do not want a heel strike because as soon as you heel strike, you're putting a brake in. As soon as you put your foot on the floor, you're doing a braking action, and that action takes a lot of strain on the ant, which is this muscle that comes up the front of your leg here. And this is where I get a lot of pain. I get a lot of pain up the front here because I've been doing a lot of heel strike and jam. And also, what also happens is you have fallen arches. And I already had a slightly collapsed arch, but it's got a heck of a lot worse. My ankle now rolls inwards in that direction, and I've got really no arch at all. My foot is completely flat. And what that does is that has strained this tib post muscle here, which comes round and under and onto the heel. It can feel, if you don't know your anatomy, a little bit like an Achilles strain with heel pain, but it's not. It's that muscle that comes around the side because it's been over-exercised, because it's been stretched in that position. What I've found helps a little bit is if I pull my foot round that way and stretch it all out in that direction. It is quite sore. Now, this is going to take a long time to settle, but what I have done is I've got an orthotic, a proper one from a podiatrist. This has been custom made. I think it's probably been 3D printed, and it's rigid plastic. Apparently there is some flex in it, so there's enough flex for me to run if I actually got that far. And I put it in my shoe and it was instantly better, instantly much better, and I can now put my heel on the floor. It's not amazing because I've got a lot of pain still from that foot, from all of the jarring previously, but it is a lot better. So if you're an amputee, take care of the remaining foot, because it's really given me a lot of problems. I can't get my wheelchair into the house. I'm still waiting for the renovations, and when I don't have a leg on, I've only got one foot to stand on, and that foot is injured. Gives me a problem. So be kind to your foot if you're an amputee, and if you find you've got a lot of pain at the front of your foot here, and you've got 2 feet, you might have the same problem, a heel strike. So I'm shortening my stride, really concentrating on a heel on that side and a forefoot on that side. Man, it makes my brain go like this. However, it is helping, but it's a lot of thought going on. So yeah, work to do. And finally, I thought I would show you the room that I do these videos from. So there's where you would normally see me. And if we turn around, on the other side there is a TV. So at this end of this room, we have got a sofa and a TV. And then over here behind me, this is the fitness equipment. So over here, I have got my bike. And it is on a trainer, on a machine down there. Let's see. So there's the bike, and it's on a trainer down there. We've got a table here for the computer, and its back wheel has been removed. And it connects to a computer program called Swift, and I pedal in a virtual land. That can also happen with this treadmill. This belt folds down, and it's also got a Bluetooth connection, and this is what I recently purchased so that I can practice walking in a safe indoor environment. And if I have some trouble, I can stop the treadmill and get off. And I haven't gone anywhere, and I don't have to worry about getting back again. It folds up like this, which is quite useful, which means I can use this sofa here as a second lounge as well, which is an extra bonus. This was repurposed from a dining room. I redecorated it relatively recently, and honestly it gets used a lot more here than it ever did before. Big benefit putting these indoors, because I had a lot of problems with personal barriers, you know, mentally getting onto these onto the trainer or doing some exercise. Well, the kitchen is just behind me there, so I've only got a few steps to go from the bedroom to the bike or the treadmill. No excuses. So that another tip from me would be, if you've got some barriers to exercise that you're having trouble with, remove the barriers. My bike was in the garage. Oh, it's too cold. Bring it in the house. It's not too cold. Didn't want to go out walking, you know, all the safety issues. Get a treadmill, bring it inside. It really has given me massive advantage, because I can now walk outside for 1.5 kilometers, and that has only increased since I got that treadmill. So massive help that was. Great idea of mine. So that is the end of my video blog for today. If there's anything specific you want to ask, please do reach out to me, and I will talk to you soon, and I'll try and be better at posting more of them. Cheerio!